It's fine.
Hello, good evening to you all the way from California, and we're 3 hours behind where Sonia is. But this is the beauty of the online space. We're welcome today for those that are going to be joining us. We have right here our book review shining in your spotlight. Sonia, thank you for joining me since more than 17 weeks.
Always.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic. We're going to be wrapping up the topic we started, I think, 2 weeks ago about asking the right
Sonia, thank
questions.
you for joining me since more than.
Yeah. So if you do not have this book yet, I think you're missing out. No, it's not what I think. You are missing out, okay? And I say that categorically because this book contains so much information about how, it's not just information, it actually shows you the how of how you can make certain aspects of your life better. Even we that are having this book review, we learn from it every single time we have this conversation. So you can do well to get a copy on Amazon, or if you're somebody who listens than reads, you get one on Audible. So, right now, I want to just read the opening quotes we started with, and it says the fact that the unexamined life is not worth living. And the topic is basically about asking the right questions, getting clarity through your own personal reflections. And this is an intentional action, like as we have understood, right? So if Socrates is saying to us that the unexamined life is not worth living, that means when you examine your life, you're definitely going to make progress. So we're going to be continuing from the page, I think page 107, right? So Sonia, you can just take it up from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we stopped here in page 107 where we talked about. I'm just gonna do a quick recap. We talked about asking the right kinds of questions, clarity towards purpose, and today we're diving into the several stages in life which requires us productively questioning and asking questions. Okay, and
Yeah.
the first one, which is like I call this the biblical principle, which is a goal setting. Now I know we are used to, okay, I have a goal for the year, or I have a goal for the month, I have a goal for a certain thing. Goal setting is beyond what you think you want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Goal setting is you practically telling yourself, you know what, I'm going to be disciplined enough
Yeah.
to tell myself that I am what reaching for the stars. What do
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
It's essential for you to ask yourself those right kind of questions. Now, I always say, I'm going to bring this to business terms. Sometimes we cannot all be entrepreneurs. But a lot
Yeah.
of people will say, you know what, I want to set a goal to become a one today. Maybe when you now enter being an entrepreneur and you see challenges and you run away, you're like, mm-mm. You know, it comes with you asking yourself questions like, can I do this? Is
Mm-hmm.
it for me?
Yeah.
Does it align with my purpose? So that you're
Mm-hmm.
not going with the crowd or going towards, oh, because they are doing it, so let me do it. If you're not called to be a pastor, if you're not called to be a preacher, and you force yourself to be it, you will find out that you're not going to prosper in it.
Mm.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
goal setting, like we say here, is you questioning yourself deep down,
Mm-hmm.
understanding what your set goal is. What am I capable of doing? What has God given me the grace to do? Then you list it out. All right. And when you do, at every step of achieving each and every one of them, you realize, wow, this is already inside of me. I'm just bringing out what has been living there.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's always a way God will make you know what is meant for you, and
Yeah.
until you walk in that path, that is when you actually realize, oh, okay, this path has already preordained for me that
Yeah.
I have been keeping inside, and now is it. So goal setting, for you to know you're actually walking in purpose, it will have to align with you, so you're going to have the peace of mind when you set your goals. So
Yeah.
now, like I said, this book is like your living Bible. What do I mean? It gives you the practical. I'm very sure you've not had goal setting in this light, and that is because we all like to set our goals on physical things. We
Mm.
want to achieve money, material things. We want to achieve a car. We want to achieve do this, the house, and all that. We have not actually sit down to set goal on our own principles.
Mm.
What am I living for? Okay, in this next few days, I'm going to read a certain book that will teach me on how I do this. Okay, and this is what we're trying to make you understand, that you
Mm.
can set goal on yourself and getting better on your own self,
Mm-hmm.
not just on material things that can fizzle away.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
but on you, which will transcend to people around you.
Yeah.
Because when you walk in purpose, you touch me. you
Yeah.
taught your family, you taught your children. You're a different person.
Yeah.
You walk in purpose. And that is what we're trying to make you understand. Clarity through reflection will
Mm.
help you set a God-given, purpose-driven goals for your life.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So for me, I would say, I think the last time we spoke about this, we talked about maybe making it like a checkup. You know how you check up on something, right?
Mhm.
Maybe a monthly checkup, or even like you have your daily goals or daily
Yeah.
whatever that you have to check up on. But it's also important to, like I've heard this before, right? In relationship to what you're saying, the question goes like this: what have you done in the last 1 year that has moved you forward in your personality? What have you changed about yourself, right? So, in terms of what you're saying, I can define it as having a goal of the character I want to build in my life,
Mhm.
something I
Mhm.
want to become for myself. So, I have that goal and I'm working towards it. And you will know if you have actually changed, if it has
Yes.
reflected in you. You
Yes.
yourself, you will know. Even without an audit, you will understand that yes, this thing has changed because you have made the decision. It starts with the decision to change yourself. So for me, this August, I have made it's looking like two decisions, but it's one. And that's because I just had my birthday this week, right?
Happy birthday! How come we didn't see pictures? You know you like paparazzi, so we didn't see any pictures to tell us that you did a
Yes,
birthday.
when you decide to just keep it.
What happened in this birthday that you said to keep it quiet? Happy
Oh my, it
birthday,
wasn't
everybody!
quiet
So now
though. It
you
was
know.
so loud. It was even louder than the rest, honestly.
Really? So
The
okay, maybe this is a California birthday, it's not a Canadian birthday.
Of course. Yes, and I set that goal and I'm looking forward to intentionally building that part of my character, honestly, because
Hmm.
I've looked and I've seen that yes, this is a gap and I'm working towards it. So just to corroborate with what Sonia just said, right? Building your character is one goal. It's not just about setting goals and making money or the
Yeah.
professional development. No, it's not about that. It starts with you. So I just shared mine, right? So yeah,
Oh
that's my
wow, guys! So
information.
you see, when they decide to do another correct country birthday, we get to be blindfolded or blind spots. Hmm.
And really,
Okay.
I didn't really post anything online, at least yet, but that's
Okay, so we have the
okay.
next one that says mindstorming. Okay, so like I said, I'm just gonna refresh. This is the several stages in life that requires your productive, okay, questioning, which we talked about. The first one is goal setting, the second one is mindstorming, and here mindstorming forces you to think by questioning yourself about what else you can do to achieve the goal that you've set or the targets.
Mhm.
Okay, so what are we trying to say? When you're setting it, it helps you do the mindstorming to think what are the practical steps, and this is where you will identify the goal.
Yeah.
Clearly define what you want to achieve. Is it character change? Is it
Mhm.
mindset matter? Is it the
Mhm.
way you process things? So
Yeah.
this is where you identify it yourself.
Mhm.
List the requirements by asking yourself, what are the resources I need? What skills do I need? What action do I need necessary to achieve the goal? Okay.
Yeah.
And that is why, like we said, every one of us, God has blessed us with the gift of mind. I
Mhm.
remember reading a book as young as I think I was 13 when I read The Battlefield of the Mind by what's the name of
Like
this?
admire.
Just thank you. Okay. And that's literally for me, honestly, that book made me distinguish between when my mind is talking and when I'm listening to God. Okay. So it helps me know that when I am in thought process, okay, and my mind is telling me things I want to hear actually. And when I sit down to ask questions in meditation, and then I hear clearly from God, like, okay, this is it, because I'm having that conversation and I'm not letting my mind dictate for me. So that book helped me at a very young age. I read it at the age of 13. Yeah, I remember. So
Is that old? Like seriously?
yes,
Wow, I've known the book. Yeah.
it's been there.
Mhm.
So that is actually like we said here, mindstorming, helping you to actually search yourself, ask yourself the practical questions that will help you list out the requirements of the skills, the actions that you need to take as a person to achieve that goal you've set for yourself. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the next step, exploring alternatives. So, that alternative means you continually questioning, strategizing, and the approaches that you employ to move closer to the goal. Now, I like the fact that you talked about character change. So
Mhm.
now you're holding yourself accountable for that.
Yeah.
So at every point, you need to explore, what are the things? Because trust me, the battlefield of the mind is going to let you like,
Exactly. You may go wrong, but because you have a decision, right? You draw yourself back.
you draw yourself
Explore a
back.
better way to do it better next time. You get what
Yes,
I mean?
yeah. That's actually explore your alternatives. Okay, so because we are relationship, we're human beings, and we tend to bend sideways. We
Mhm.
tend to want the easy route. Okay, but hold yourself accountable to hold on to those skills, those paths that you want to go towards to achieve your set goal. All right, and I'm gonna do the last part before she continues, which is evaluating your progress. So
Mhm.
for everything we are doing in life, we want to evaluate our outcome. We want to evaluate our progress so that we know if we need to tweak things around, change direction of the course of what we are implementing already, so that we get a better outcome. Just like Jesus will do with his disciples, okay? They always come back in the evening. We check up what we've done in the day, and he take them to pray. Even though they are staggering and praying, but then he still let them know and reflect towards their day. And
Yeah.
that is what we need to do as well in our goal setting. All right? Yeah.
I'll give a typical example when you said Jesus, what them reflecting. There was a time when Jesus, I mean, the disciples came to ask Jesus, right? They were like, "What did you do that we didn't do that demon didn't go away?" Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's them checking themselves. Like, we're not making progress in this thing we just did. We need to know
Yeah.
why, right? So when things that do not go maybe the way you have already set it, it's important to go back and
Find out why.
reflect on how, yes, find out why, explore alternatives and do again, because it's that's how you make progress continuously.
Mm.
Okay, so learning from experience. So to avoid those pitfalls, right, you need to ask those questions. What went wrong, right? Identifying those mistakes so that you can adequately address it. Why did it happen? What you understand the root cause, right? Then what could you do differently? That's still the same thing as giving yourself an alternative solution to whatever it is, right? So consider alternative actions or strategies that will, produce a better outcome next time. Because this is a school of learning. So it's like learning and doing
Yeah.
until you fine tune and make progress. So at the end of the day, like I always like to say, like in IT projects, there's something we call lessons learned, right? We always
Mm.
go back to understand what worked, what didn't work, and what we could do better. Those three things. So that's you asking yourself, what have I learned now from this, and how do I implement it going further for the next time? Because life is a school, right? So you can always
Yeah.
get better the next time. So basically, that's what this learning from experience section is talking about.
Yeah, so we go to clarifying intentions, and what we say about it is like we just touched on being human. Sometimes we give ourselves, we cut some slack to ourselves that, oh, okay, you have to go. But here we know at every crossroads of decision making, the right questions act as a compass needle pointing towards, the right direction, okay?
Yeah, yeah,
Towards the right goal, towards what you set for yourself to achieve. So have that clear intention, because I know for every decision, there is always an outcome. Okay.
yes,
So
yeah,
now let's say your goal is to change let me use the word for some of the mothers. Your goal is to change screaming at your kids when they
hmm,
do a little bit and you're trying to work towards negotiating or actually having a talk with them. Okay.
yeah,
Now
yeah,
you know that the end goal is the fact that you want them to be able to you want to give yourself time to understand them better and not to flip. Okay. So
yeah,
have that clear intention that to you your goal is actually to learn to quiet your spirit when you are being agitated to scream. All right.
exactly,
So
yeah,
clarify that intention and walk towards when your mind wants to like flip. Okay. You calm yourself down to actually hear the child, because sometimes when you are agitated, you don't even hear the reason for whatever they do. Okay. So
mhm,
actually, talk things over and have, I call it the learning stage of their life, and you to learn from the process as well. Because
yeah,
sometimes when we calm down and listen, we
mhm,
learn, we tend to have a better relationship with our children. So have that clear intention, clarify your motives for everything. Don't do things because you feel that I'm going to teach this child a lesson, so therefore, you don't gain clarity or clear perspective of that desire. Okay,
Yeah.
so make
Yeah.
sure your goals are precise enough. Ask questions, because once your intentions are clarified, then you know the objective, you know the set goal, you know the desired outcome that you want to achieve in that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So navigating challenges.
Yeah, I like the fact that you say be precise, right? It works in the same way that even I know you have written once, you've said that before, that you need to be precise even when you're praying to God for something.
Mm-hmm.
Be definite. So this is also a call to you, like in those things, you have to be definite, clarify it so that you know exactly when the change has happened, when you're what you're making progress towards.
Mm-hmm.
That's very
Mm-hmm.
important. So
Yeah.
navigating challenges, I say here that life challenges are like a twist and turn, right? So it's all about your resilience. You have to be able to. I think we're still saying the same thing, but in a different way because there are different scenarios. You have to be able to be resilient enough not to give up on yourself
So,
because, or give up on that situation just because, it's not, maybe you haven't gotten there yet.
yeah.
So the ability to ask the right questions, even in the face of adversities, is similar to like you wielding a compass, right? So you know exactly what you're learning from. What am I learning from this? And how can I grow from this experience? I think that should always be the goal of any situation. How can I grow from whatever the experience is? Because that's the best way to empower yourself to navigate through any situation that you find yourself.
Yeah, so we have a building meaningful connections. That is asking right questions is not only a journey inward but a bridge to understanding others. Okay. And this is where I like to say your network is your network is your network.
Yeah.
Okay. Build a meaningful connection. People who are actually maybe living the life you want to live. Okay.
Mhm.
Because when you are in their midst, you tend to hear the things that will get you towards your desired outcome, all right,
Yeah.
towards your intention or what you want to achieve. So genuinely build relationship, build curiosity that will foster that connection so that you are on the path to achieving your desired goal in life. Okay, and throughout the questioning, make sure that you're willing to know the layers of what you've achieved. Find time to look at, like you talked about, the feedback. When you do the goal setting, you do the asking of the question, try to sit back and ask yourself and get feedback for yourself, all right? Because that
Mhm.
would help you
Yeah.
even applaud yourself or give yourself the accolade that you deserve, that you come very far, because
Mhm.
change is not easy, all right? So for the fact that your goal is getting towards something personal and something you want to change, then you have time to give feedback, then see that if you achieved it or not, or if you need to reward yourself, okay, for
Yeah.
that certain things that you're able to achieve. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you talk about this building meaningful connections, I always like to say that we're like we don't know it all, right? And the network we have is not all there is. It could be better, right? Like you could expand your network. You could meet more people. You could meet people, or even become more closer to some people that you know you can benefit from. So asking your questions about the areas of your life you need to benefit from, you should be able to understand who those connections are that you need to be more closer to learn from, to glean from, and be able to make yourself better. So this last part was just talking about unveiling solutions. So just like problems are like puzzles waiting to be solved, that's how you know the keys is asking the right questions. It's like a
Mhm.
puzzle, putting the pieces of the puzzles together. So whether it's in your professional life, whether it's in your personal life, your spiritual growth, whatever be the case, it's your ability to ask these questions that will open up solutions like you never knew before. So let's always take some time to reflect. I know life is very busy. Even before this call, I was just lying down for a few minutes before I saw your message. I was like, I've been busy all day. Let me just chill. Let me just calm down. Right? And just reflect on, the day so far and all of those things before I join this call. So it's important that we are in that space of not too much busyness, or of course, yeah, amidst the busyness, I would say, find time to make those reflections so that you can make progress and improve your life as you go on a daily basis. So always question instead of you saying, asking the wrong questions, always ask the right questions that will empower you and propel you forward. Okay.
Yeah, so thoughts to consider, like we talked about. So there are actionable plans, which is a summary of what we've talked about here. So
Yeah.
you understanding what you want to achieve and building those quality questions that will help you address it and prepare you to achieving your desired outcome. All right.
Mm.
Now, talked about just now she talked about the questions, asking open-ended question in line with what you want to achieve. Okay, get the clarity towards what your questions are, reflect on them, give yourself feedback so that at the end of the day you will be glad you have a set goal for yourself. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So, like I will do the call to action every time. If you
Yes.
haven't gotten this book, let me put it close to the camera. What's my stop doing? Thank you. So please get this book for yourself, even for your young ones, okay? Because the time we are is a time where we are all in that bubble where we are asking ourselves, what's the way forward?
Mm.
Innovations are hitting hard. Our purpose is calling. Our jobs are calling. Lots of noises and distraction from everywhere. You
Yeah.
need to really know what your light is and where to shine it on.
Yeah.
Okay? So get the book and understand the practical steps towards living your own life, not anybody's life, your own. Okay?
Oh.
And shine in that light. Okay?
Mhm.
And God has blessed you with. All right?
Yeah.
So it's on
Yeah.
Amazon. Yeah. So if you want the Audible, you want the hard copy, it's on Amazon. Feel free to get it. All right.
Yeah.
Until we come your way next week.
Okay.
Have
Have a
a
blessed week and
blessed
God
week.
bless you so much.
Bye.